To this computer. Okay. And Peggy's on this call. Okay, good morning. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. Mitch, we all good?
Yep.
Let me know if we're still good.
It's in presentation mode.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Thank you for showing up, everybody. Hey, so this is a a training that I've been wanting to do for a while because Google has been introducing brand new features to its Google listing, which most of you, hopefully, if you don't know, Google listings are 100% free. You get to create them. I'm going to walk through the steps on how to create them and how to set them up. So I get a lot of clients being in the web design industry all the time and says, hey, I have a website and I need to generate leads and what do I have to do and how much is it going to cost? The first thing I ask every local business that I talk to is, do you have a Google My Business listing? And if they say yes, I ask them, are you updating it? Are you managing it? Well, no, we don't. Okay, so then I tell them straight out, I said, you don't need to hire me for anything. You need to update your Google listing because at the end of the day, a website is a website. You can get your website to rank high, but it's a lot of work. You have to tag it, keywords, optimize it, internal links, external links. You got to put your links to your website on websites that are authoritative. So now you need to share your link, your website pages, about me, contact me, whatever pages you create on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. So a lot of work. And most of you that I know will create a Google listing, will never manage it. I mean, excuse me, your web page, you'll create it and it's set aside because you don't have time or you don't want to mess with updating or sharing the content. Whereas your Google My Business listing, the day you create that listing, it's on Google. It's on Google because it's Google's platform, and how you set it up and how you create it and how you tag it and optimize it is super, super simple to do. I mean, I manage 5 of our Google listings that we have for our brokerage and spend about $10, 10, excuse me, 10 minutes a week doing it. One of the good things about a Google listing is you can update it from your phone via Google Maps. So if you're logged into your Gmail account and you're on your Google Maps account, then basically you can upload pictures. Most of you can do that. And we're going to cover what kind of information you can share. And you can right there from your phone ask your client for a review, a business associate for a review. And then as soon as they reply right on your phone, you can reply back. So let's get into it. Give me 1 second here. So unlike social media or paid ad, Google Business Profile, which used to be called Google My Business in the old days, like I already said, is a free tool that Google allows businesses, including real estate agents and realtors, to manage their online presence. So why is it important? Because Google My Business is actually going to help if you have your profile optimized local visibility. So if somebody is in LA or in Visalia and types in local realtor near me, of course, most of you have seen like the image right there. It'll show a list of businesses with a map location on the right and then the contact information for that business. This is super important. It also builds credibility because as you have your Google listing, and I started looking at a lot of my realtors' Google listings, and yeah, they created it, but they haven't managed it because they created their account probably 9 months or a year ago when I told them they needed to do it. Asked a bunch of people to get reviews, and they have had no reviews in the last year. So what happens is, and then they're wondering why they're not getting leads or traffic through Google because now their listing is dropping because it's not being managed. You can't set up a Google listing, complete it today, and never touch it. It's an ongoing process. Plus, like I said, the other thing is it helps generate leads because people are looking online. They're looking before they go anywhere to do anything, to visit any website. Consumers are Googling particular service or particular individuals that they're looking for before they go to their websites and before they make contact. So remember that. What you can do is realtors can post updates, share property photos, So if you got a listing coming up, if you got an open house that you're doing, you can do Q&As to engage your potential clients. The Google My Business listing also allows you to get insights on the interactions and what your customers are doing, and I'll show you where you can find all that information. Um, but the big thing for a real estate agent, this is a non-negotiable. If you are a real estate agent and you want to grow your business, you have to have a Google My Business listing because everybody else is. But the main thing is it has to be optimized. So when it's optimized correctly, it'll allow you eventually to show up in the top results on Google, and hopefully you show up on the top three or the first page and says, hopefully you have a fighting chance that somebody may contact you. So what it does is Google prioritizes local businesses that are well optimized. Because the way it looks at, you got to think about these Google bots. It says, hey, I got my consumer searching on Google, and I'm going to thank everybody that has created a optimized listing. Also, those of you that engage with my leads, if they're leaving a review and you replied back to those reviews, positive or negative, promptly, it says thank you for being responsive to my leads because you replied back to them. Most of you, and I know it's true. If you get a negative review, you're probably not going to reply to a negative review. Well, Google's going to say, oh, okay. So that probably negative review is probably true. So, but you're not responding to my consumers. They're searching for people, businesses like you, and they'll drop your ranking. So eventually, if you're wondering why you're not getting any traffic, it's because of that. And then, excuse me, most people, when they start their results, are always on Google Maps. So most home buyers, like I said, as the benefits of SEO in your Google My Business listing is that most home buyers and sellers don't search for realtors by name. What they do is they look up, like I said earlier, real estate agents near me or best realtor in Fresno, California. And that's where that listing map is going to show up. And you want to hope that you are showing up in that list. Excuse me. So sorry. So for example, a buyer searching for top realtor in Austin. Well, you'll get a list of agents that are in that area. And then hopefully you have the ability or the client will have the ability to contact you, visit your website, and from there make a decision. But that's better than not finding you. So make sure you optimize your listing. So the main things for setting up and optimizing your listing, because we're going to walk through step by step, I wanted to cover some of these points, is that you want to set up your Google profile. You want to complete and optimize your profile so it improves search visibility with local SEO. You want to use Google Posts to engage your clients. So if those of you that have been looking at creating a blog on your website, but think it's a little bit more work, then create it on your Google listing because that'll hit Google immediately. Maintain your profile for long-term success. So basically, if you're going to create a Google listing, please take the time to manage it every so often. Check into it, update it, see what's new, what features have been added, and update your profile, update your hours of operation if that needs be, and keep your content updated. Add pictures, sales meetings, open houses, your office, your pictures of your desk, everything that's real estate related, make sure you add that. So how do you set up your Google business profile? For those of you that have not done it, we're going, like I said, we're going to go through it, but you would basically go to business.google.com. So I'm going to skip this slide. We're going to go to the next one. So what you got to do is you got to optimize, set up your listing, complete and optimize it. And we're going to go through every one of those steps. The reason I'm skipping through this because I'll share the slides if you want, but I want to get to the hands-on portion. And then what we want to do is if you optimize your Google My Business with local SEO best practices. So what that means is if you're creating a Google post, use relevant keywords in your description, such as homes for sale in Visalia, top realtor in Pheasant Ridge. Pheasant Ridge is my subdivision where I live because maybe somebody's looking to move to Northwest Visalia, and that is one of the subdivisions that's very popular. Well, I want to mention that Pheasant Ridge neighborhood in my Google post because it becomes keywords. Okay. So focus on that. List names, cities, and neighborhoods if that's what you're going to do. So remember, when you optimize your listing, use relevant keywords. You also want to make sure that you're updating your posts regularly because you want to sound like you're a contractor. Like the image shows under contracts. This agent posted an under contract image. A lot of you have under contract, just listed, just sold marketing material that you create on and post on Instagram or Facebook. Well, you know what? You could start at the same time adding those images because it goes to Google Images into your Google My Business account, upload photos into that, and then maybe create a simple post. Hey, check out this brand new listing located at this, and some few descriptions from your MLS descriptions, copy and paste it in there, add that image, and now you got a post on Google that instantly hits Google, not having to worry about getting indexed throughout the system. So posting, like I said, what would you do? You would post new listings. So share details, high quality photos, can't stress enough, picture quality. Market insights you can post on Google Posting, like, hey, you know what? We talk about that at our sales meeting. Why don't I take that information and create a short little post about market updates? You can do real estate tips. You could do did you know? And if you look at if the most of you haven't been on Brand Studio, there's a lot of if this or that. There's a lot of marketing material in Brand Studio that you can actually utilize those images and add them into your Google post. Real estate tips, upcoming open houses. If you're doing promotions, we don't have most of them, and then recently sold. These are some of the things you can add. And then also Google Business Profile Insights for Marketing. So the base thing is it allows you to track your matrix. When we go to the live version and set up a profile, you'll see you could actually see how many visitors you're getting, have seen your profile, how many actually click the link to your website, how many actually ask for directions. And now on Google Profiles, you can actually add your phone number. So somebody comes across your Google listing, they can actually text you, hit the text button and text you right from while they're at your Google listing from there on their phone and text you and then connect with you. So there's a lot of brand new features that have rolled out. So, and then of course, the last thing you want to do is, hey, you got to ask your clients for Google reviews. I get a lot of my agents saying, hey, you know what? I sent them a real satisfied. I don't want to ask them for a Google review. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I said this because if you don't ask, you won't know if they're willing to give you the review. That's the main thing. So you could do ask for a review at closing. Hey, if you're helping a first-time home buyer and seller, I said, oh, thank you so much. I said, hey, if you like my service, would you mind giving me a quick review? There is nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be they're your client. You're just showing the homes right now. They could leave you a review at that point. Maybe after successful negotiating with somebody else or a home contractor or home inspector, why couldn't they leave you a professional business review? After an open house showing, maybe people came through says, hey, are you already working with a realtor? Hey, but by any chance, if you like the service I provided to you, would you mind leaving me a review? That would be icing on the cake. But we don't think about all of these different things. And then you ask after a referral, if somebody sends you a referral, ask them for a review. It doesn't have to be, oh, Bob helped me sell a home. No, you know what? Bob was amazing. He at an open house we attended, etc. These are the little things, but most of you have to realize if we don't ask, it's not going to work. We just got to ask, just like you would ask a client for business. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty. So when you go to set up a Google listing, you have to go to business.google.com. That is a place you would go. Remember, business.google.com. So we are going to put it in there. First thing it'll do is it will land you right here. It says, hey, what is your business name? Because what it's going to do is it's going to start searching if there's a particular business name. So if I put Visalia SEO, if I put in Century 21, it's saying, oh, there's one in Windale. Okay, well, if I select the Century 21, it's probably, hey, someone already manages it. So if there's already a listing out there, it'll know. Sometimes Google sees one and creates a profile. So we're going to skip that. So in here, what you would do is I am going to start in here and create one because I already am working with a real estate agent. I'm going to help her create the account. So give me 1 second while I figure out what am I doing here. Businesses. I am on business add. So I am adding because the account that you saw here is when you have more than one business that you manage that is tied to your Gmail account. This is what you see when you go to business.google. So you can see all the different businesses that you're managing. So if you're a broker and says, hey, I want to be able to help my agents, I say, well, great. Then you would ask to be a manager or a part owner on their Google listing. It'll show up in here. So one of my agents, I'm going to use her as a test. So we are going to use Lisa. And she's a realtor. So when she started, I had to buy lisahassorealtor.com, which is perfect. So see, nothing shows. So I'm going to hit create. Business category, you're just going to type in real. And the only option that applies to a real estate agent is a real estate agent, not an agency. Also, the business name, do not put in a Bob Patel Century 21 Jordan Link. That makes no sense. Do not put in Century 21 Jordan Link if that's your brokerage name because you're not the broker and you're not the owner. Because remember, you as a real estate agent are an individual. So you already have a business license, hopefully, which is you as an individual, realtor or real estate agent. Okay, so we're going to go real estate agent and we're going to hit next. Says, do you want to add a location where customers can visit? No. The reason I'm putting no is because Lisa Hasso plus 130 of my other agents, if they all created a Google listing and said yes, they're going to add my office address. Google's going to say, hold on, can't I have 130 of you at the exact same address? Exact same address. I said, how is a mailman going to know how to get the mail to who? Because there's no floor number. Businesses are all this, no floor number, no suite number, nothing. Plus, Lisa is a school teacher. She's never here. So I don't need clients to see an address for her. Just walk in the building. So what it does is basically says, hey, I'm available. It's not going to affect your ranking. It's not going to affect how you show up. It's just not going to show your address. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put no, bear with me, continue. Says, okay, what, and it's still going to let us do everything it does, but it has my phone number and website so they can contact me. Then I can schedule the appointment and meet with them instead of somebody just walking in my office. Because most of you know nowadays, nobody's just walking in an office. Okay. So in here, in the search areas, you can put in counties or cities. She lives in the county of Tulare County. So I'm not going to do cities because that's just a list of cities. So I'll do counties. And you can add as many counties as you do where you work. One thing to remember, my profile for web design. So Greg's on the call. He gave me a review. Thank you. So where he lives, I have to make sure that I put on my Google profile that I also service clients in Utah, Colorado, Texas, Miami, because then when a brokerage or an agent gives me a review, my profile shows I service that market. If I don't change the service markets as I'm growing, so if you're a brand new agent, just put in where you service. As you grow and your clients are expanding outside of that area, then add, oh, now I also serve Fresno County, which is north of us, or I serve Kings County, which is east, because I just have a client there and I'm hoping to get a review from them. So now you're expanding your reach. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to leave it at Tulare County and we're going to hit continue for now. And then we're going to put in her phone number. And where is she? 559. Oh, 559 799 2328. Website is optional, but I am going to put it in there. So realtor.com. We're going to hit next. It's going to go through. Says, hey, please enter your mailing address. So I could technically enter the office address because this is where she will get her mail. Because I don't want to put in a home address, so we're going to leave that out. California. Okay, next. We're going to get a phone call, so we are going to hit next to text message. And then basically to get verified, a code went to Lisa. So I'm hoping, I already told Lisa, says, hey, if you get a code before 10 o'clock, yep, she says, any code yet? So we're going to see if she gets that code right now and texts that code back to me, because she's super excited that I'm using her account to create the listing. So, and she would do a screenshot of all things. 434-182, verify. Now I am verified. So I am going to, thank you. Okay, next. Okay, so we are going to start picking out services. Like I said, you don't want to just pick everything from day one. Get your listing to the basic services that you offer, get it set up, and then get everything optimized. And then little by little, start adding different services that you offer. So seller agent services, we're going to just pick 2 luxury property sales. She does do that. And we're going to keep it so far buyer agent services. Leave it at those 3. We're going to hit continue. Now we're going to put in her office hours. This is not a big deal because remember we showed that she doesn't have a particular office location. So the hours are not going to show. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip. So remember, this is where you would typically put your office hours. So we're going to skip. This is where she would put her business description. So this is where you would type in up to 750 characters, 750 at the bottom. You want to utilize every single piece to let the customers learn more about your business by adding a description. Okay, so this will go this business profile for search maps and other Google services. So this is where you would put in what is your business, what do you do, not technically your bio, but you need to flip your bio as what is it that you do as a business, not a this is a biography. Okay. But I am going to utilize 2 of her sentences that she has just for now. We're going to go next. It says now here you can add pictures. You can add photos of listings, your office, your desk, your Century 21 logos. Brand Studio has so much marketing material, collateral material. You can start uploading those. You want to do it a little bit at a time because like I said, you don't want to put everything in today and never touch your listing. So take the time to set up your listing, put a few pictures in there. If you don't have any right now, we're going to hit skip and I'm going to show you how to go back. Advertise in minutes. I'm going to skip that because I'm not going to do any Google advertising. So we're going to skip that, but you can go back to that anytime. It says, would you like a custom email? I don't need a custom email at the time, so I'm going to skip that one too. And your edits will be visible once they're verified. So even though it said verified, it goes to somebody at Google. They're going to review what she's keyed in to make sure that listing is valid and approve it. Sometimes it could take 10, 15 minutes, and sometimes it could take a day. So we're going to hit continue. So in the meantime, this is her profile. This is where it is. It tells you right at the top, strength. We got some work to do. Edit your profile is where you edit your profile. Read reviews is where you would read. Photos is where you would upload photos. Performance is where you see what's happening. If you want to advertise, if you got products you want to do, edit services is where you edit your services. So we're going to go back to edit profile. This is your profile. So this is about me. And if you notice, it switches. About me, business names, perfect, real estate agent. Here's my description, opening date. So if you had a particular year that she was open, you can put that opening date in there because she's brand new. We're gonna say it was, you know what? I don't know when she was. So we're gonna skip that one for now. Cancel that one. We have her phone number. So this is a new feature that Google just rolled out that most of you have no idea that it exists because you haven't been back in your Google listing. You could actually put a phone number to WhatsApp or a text message in here. If it's WhatsApp, put WhatsApp, click to chat URL, or if it's your text, put in your US phone number, and now your clients can actually text you when they're on your phone, on your Google profile, text you and have a conversation back and forth. If you don't want them to text you, leave that blank and leave it blank and then just leave your phone number. So now they have no option. They have to call you. The other thing that they added is social profile. Because you guys know Google and any consumer out there, they're going to look for you. They're going to hunt you. They're going to look at where you are. They're going to look at your social profile before they make a decision. So you might as well add your social profiles here. All you're going to do is hit add, and you have an option of LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you have all of those, add them all in there. It'll show up on your Google listing and it'll show credibility to those profiles and your Google listing because you have those other social profiles on there. Okay, so make sure if you have social, use it. Please utilize it. Location. There's no location service here. Show business. I don't want to show business to consumers. So I'm going to leave that out. I'm not going to show my address. I service Tulare County. Business hours. Open with no main hours. So I'm not going to put hours at the moment. I don't have additional hours because that means if you're like more of a restaurant, hey, we have breakfast between this time and this time, and we have happy hour, which most of your realtors probably have happy hour, but we're not putting that on there. Between 4 and 5 is happy hour. Online service hours, senior hours, takeout, most of those do not apply. This section right here, from the business, crowd, planning, and service options. So from the business, says, hey, how are you identified? And it'll appear to the consumer. So she is woman-owned and Latino, I believe, but we'll change it. So I'm going to make sure I add those. Okay, crowd. Are you LGBT friendly? Well, we don't have a physical location, but you know what? Yes, I am, because it does not bother me. So we're going to put Lisa putting that. That's going to take a while to open. Planning, add. Are appointments required? You can put yes or no. If you put yes, they're going to schedule an appointment. And 2 weeks ago, we went over Google booking calendar. Those of you that attended, that calendar is freaking amazing and it's free instead of using Calendly. If you need more information on that, I'll have Mitch put our YouTube channel. It's on there in the chat. Or you can contact me or Mitch and we'll show you where it is. But this is where you schedule an appointment is required. Yes, it is, because she's working. She's at school all day. It's like, I don't want somebody just showing up or just randomly. I need to schedule an appointment. Service options, add. Okay. Do you offer online appointments? Absolutely. In the day of Zoom, you better be offering online appointments. And then it says, do you do any specific languages? Do you do American Sign Language, Cantonese, Arabic? She speaks English. Not sure if she speaks Spanish. So we're going to leave that one out for now. We're going to hit save because she's going to have to go back and do her homework. So now I've added this basic information here. You're setting that up. There's 3 dots if you need help and support. And we're going to close this out. Brand new thing, Google reviewed. So that's the way you go in and edit your profile. Okay. Read reviews. This is where you would read your reviews. So she doesn't have any. If you want to get more, you click this button. And what Google finally just did, it says, hey, if you right-click this QR code, that QR code will land the consumer that scans that QR code right on your Google profile. Boom, so leave a review for Lisa. And it'll land right there. Basically similar to this page. Oh, it hasn't been approved yet. Never mind. That's why it's not going to show yet. So this is great because if it was me, I would create a sign anywhere that I can put it. Leave me a review. If you love my service, leave me a review on Google. I would put it at an open house. I'd put it at a showing. I'd take it everywhere. I'd have it on my phone. So, oh, if you love my service, would you mind leaving me a review? And I'd have it on my phone is what I would do. because reviews are king in Google world. Reviews will trump anything else that you do. Your Google listing will skyrocket based on your reviews. But keep in mind, you get a review, you need to reply promptly. Within 4 hours is the deal. Google says, "Wow, thank you so much for responding to my clients, my people, my consumers are searching your business and your reply promptly bumps you up. Within 12 hours, hey, thank you so much. Great job." Boom. Still bumps you up a little. Past 24 hours, if you don't reply back, says, "Wow, been 2 days and you didn't reply back," it's going to either leave you there or drop you and drop you and drop you. Super important. If you ask for a review, and guys, honestly, it comes on your phone. You can click it. And remember, when you do a review, there's so many characters. So you want to utilize it and figure out a way to say, if I'm going to ask Bob for a review, or if let's say I'm going to ask Mitch for a review, how am I going to strategically ask him to say, "Mitch, can you put on there that Bob is the best realtor in Visalia, California?" Best realtor in California, Visalia, California just became a keyword. But how do you do that? So that's the tricky part because you can't just ask consumers, "Hey, can you write this in my review?" But at the end of the day, any review you get is great. Okay. So this is a brand new feature that Google just rolled out. Same thing, three dots, send feedback and ask for help. Then if you go to photos, it says, "Hey, can you add a cover sheet, a cover photo for your listing? And then can you add a logo?" Then you can just add photos. Click on add photos, drag and drop them, whatever you want. So if I have a picture somewhere on my computer, let's see, do I have one in it? Screenshot, screenshot. Oh, downloads, I do. Or I don't. Oh, right. I will add this pattern that I had that Mitch like that I use on my backdrop. Hey, still an image for Century 21. So I'm going to add images. I'm going to add Century 21 logos, the Century 21 seal. I'm going to go into Brand Studio and figure out if there's 50 images. I'm going to maybe one every other day post because now I'm regularly updating my Google Map because the Brand Studio has so much stuff, guys. You got to utilize it. The same thing here is you can upload videos. That is the newest thing that just came out. Google says, "Hey, I am going to give so much love on anybody's Google profile that upload video." Think about that. Most of you guys are already doing shorts, reels, open house tours, virtual tours, etc. Now you need to start recording. If those videos, you need to start adding them to your Google listing. Super
Bob,
powerful. Yes.
is it like the video? Do they prefer a link from like YouTube or is it the raw video from your phone?
You upload the video.
Okay,
You, just like it says here,
I got you.
you gotta drag it. Now remember, those of you that have been visiting Brand Studio, you know there's a lot of "This is our century" and all of the new advertising with the yellow gold signs that you could actually customize it and put your cue card at the end, right, Mitz? Because
Yep.
he better be nodding. So when you
Hmm.
create those, you can edit those, and at the end, it'll show Bob Patel Century 21 link, or I can change that to show the brokerage. So imagine if I created all of those one by one and upload those. This is our century. This all of that stuff. Um, you got all that stuff already there, branded. Plus, then upload your own videos. "Hey guys, hi, this is Bob with Century 21. I just want to take a little time to introduce myself." Or maybe you do a video once a week and say, "Hey, I'm going to take 5 minutes and just talk about the market." "Hey guys, so just to let you know, in Visalia, California, we have 214 homes for sale. 12 just went pending. We sold about 128. So if you guys are looking to buy a home in Visalia, California, look me up." It could be as short as that. It doesn't matter. Your MLS probably gives you all that data. You just got to put it on a video. Okay, something simple. Don't overdo the wheel. Performance right here is where it'll start telling you if you have calls, bookings, especially if you add the booking calendar link and then clicks. So if I was to check, um, go to my profile, this is how it would look. What does that chart say? Calls, there's any bookings, I don't have it in it, and then how many people have gone to my website. This is the amount of data that your Google profile will show here to let you know, hey, wow, I'm getting some traffic. I need to keep adding information. But if you don't keep it updated and constantly evolving and updated, it's not going to work. Okay. Advertising is if you want to utilize the advertising that Google offers. If you click on that, you're just basically creating a Google ad. So we're not going to get into that one. That's a different animal by itself. Edit products is if you have a product that you're putting, whether it's a get customers to your store. We don't have any products, but we do. That's the one thing we don't have. So we're not going to worry about the product section. You are going to edit services, bottom left-hand corner. So now we're going over to services. This is where it said, okay, you said you're a buyer's agent services. If you click that, which most of you have never done, shame on you, you never put a description. So think about it. If you have a whole list of services you put when you started your Google listing, you never went back and said, okay, let me create a description up to 300 characters of that bio agent service. As your local real estate agent serving Visalia, California, I work extensively with home buyers. You figure it out. You're still putting the description where it sounds natural, because that's what you want, because Googlebot will know when you're talking crap. Trust me, it'll know. When you just use AI to generate it, like, oh, that sounds good, I'll just put it in there. It'll know. You'll tank to the bottom. Okay. You got to make it as humanly as possible, but knowing in your business saying, hey, how can I put this? I do, as a local real estate agent serving Tulare County, I work with a lot of buyers. That is as human as I can say it, but that just became irrelevant in that description. Keywords. If somebody's Google buyer or real estate agent in Visalia, California, my listing might show up because I got that at those specific words in my services. Super important, guys. Super. And you just gotta take the time to do it. Every one of these you can add services. Then once you've done these, give it about a couple of days, go back, it says add more. Now, little by little, if you do commercial buying and sales, you're like, I'm going to add this one today, and I am going to fill out that description. And then maybe tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to add another service. I'm going to build this and then add a picture. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back and update my hours. So you're managing your listing. But if you start doing it from the day you create your listing, it becomes a habit in 30 days. So just focus on little by little, but be honest with you, do not create a Google listing and never manage it. Just don't even create it. Because your clients will know, oh my God, Mitt's got a review 3 years ago. I wonder if he's still in business. I probably don't want to call him. See? So it can actually backfire. So if you're not going to do the work, don't even create it. Don't even bother because it's not going to help you. Okay. Bookings. Right here. Hey, you could put a featured button on your website that integrates with Google products. I'm like, okay. So if I hit get started, it says high level. It says choose a provider. I'm not using high level. I don't know what it is. I'm not paying for it, even if it was something free. I don't know what it is. But since we did that training a few weeks ago and Mitt's going to test, he loves that Google booking
I
calendar.
love
I can add a link. And all Mitch would do is go to his account, add the URL to his booking calendar, and hit save, and it'll show up right where that image shows, a little link that says book an appointment. How crazy is that? That is amazing. So of course with Lisa, we're gonna have to set up her account. So that's where bookings come in. Then, hey, Q&A. So like Mitch always says, I get this question over and over. Great. Type the question, hit post, and then I'll let you put in the answer. So now your clients can go to your listing like, oh, he's got a Q&A section, and they can read your Q&A. How crazy is that? I'm like, oh my God, thank God Mrs. not gonna call me about the same thing. What's the market like? Or how many homes are for sale? Except whatever the question is, you can create a Q&A, ask a question, save it, and then it'll let you put in the answer to the question. So test question, hope post. Question is too short. Okay. Well, we're not going to do that right now, but you guys get the idea. When you go in there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Q&A, add an update. Okay. Offers, most realtors don't have offers because technically you can't say, hey, if you buy a home with me, I'm going to give you $500. Can't do that. But you can add an update, just like a Google blog. It says, hey, drag a picture, give me a description up to 1,500 characters. That is a lot of characters. That is a lot of characters, guys. And then do you want to link to something? So if I was to show you Century 21, oops, that's not what I want. Um, 2 days ago, short little article. Let's this one here. Little article and a picture. Learn more. Goes to my brokerage website, to that entire article, and they can read it. That's basically how it works. Now, do you have to put the link to your website? No. If you didn't create the article on your website, no. This section here could be just a picture of maybe a logo for, let's say, a local lender, and then you're going to put a description of services and stuff. Hey, so if you guys are looking for a local loan company or getting to get pre-approved, you can put in whatever you want and put in information and says, you know what, learn more and put a link to that lender's website. It's just an update. It's an update, market update, images from CAR, California Association of Realtors, anything that you want to put in there. Now, if you don't want to deal with that, the other thing that you can do is most of you guys are all involved with events. So could you promote a local event that's happening in town? Of course you can. Hey, there's a car show coming up. Man, let me go to the car show website, grab a picture, put in the title of the car show, the date start, the time when it starts and ends, and a little bit of the details, and then let me link it to that car show's website so people can sign up and learn about the car show. Or there's a brew fest, or there's a tournament happening, or a 5K run happening. You guys can post events and share it. So if you're not going to do the other two, it says, you know what, our town has a lot of events. I can just post those. Well, then post those. At least you're doing something and updating your listing. Okay. Lisa Hasso, last thing down here where it says is ask for reviews. We covered that last time. See, beautiful profiles like yours with 5 or more reviews can get noticed twice as many customers. Can get up to twice as many customers. So you could either email and see, it sends them and opens up an email program. You can hit WhatsApp, Facebook, because I'm going to share. That's what this is. It's not emailing customers. Or I just copy the link and maybe the QR code. Put the QR code in your Gmail signature and maybe also below there, or click here and add the link because maybe they're on their phone. They're like, well, can't scan that QR code to my phone. So, but in your email signature right below it says QR scan me or click here. Something, at least get all your, so everybody that has past clients, I would start asking for reviews. Let's say Mitch has over 100 customers. How many clients have you had in your lifetime?
Me,
Yeah.
maybe 1,800, something like that.
How many?
I don't know, about 1,800
Nice.
maybe,
So
but
if
not counting
if
people on foreclosure.
okay, well, if let's say you're brand new and or a year or two in the business, you had like maybe 30 closings. What I would do is I wouldn't go contact all 30 of them today. I would break it up. because you're also prospecting. Break it up. So you know I'm going to do 2 a week. In a month, I have 8 reviews. I can reply, send them back. Or maybe like that's 8. And then in 4 months, I'll basically finish all 30 of my leads. But I want to build it. I don't want to get all 30 of them to give me a review today. And I don't have anything in the pipeline. In the next 3 months, I have nothing. Because trust me, if I was looking for somebody as a realtor and I came across your profile, like, wow, Mitch got a lot of reviews in October. He had 20 of them. Wow. He had nothing since then and nothing before that. Like, okay. And me as a marketing person, I knew what he did. He put them all in and never managed his listing. So this is the main thing that you want to do. You want to make sure you edit your profile and make sure the whole thing is complete. Okay. Any questions on that so far? But let me open it up real quick. Let me find out. Participants. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Because I unmuted everybody. Don't be shy. Please don't be shy. I think I unmuted everybody.
Bob. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
It's Julie from New Jersey, your best friend. You're
Absolutely.
awesome.
What's up?
We do have a question. So the question is,
if I'm just beginning to create my business page and I have a lot of old reviews, can I upload them to my page?
What did she say?
so if she has reviews where?
I just feel satisfied.
Okay, so if Selah has, we have lots of reviews from our Real Satisfied.
Yes.
I know that we have our Real Satisfied set up, Bob, where you click it, it goes automatically to realtor.com. And then there's a switch that they can go right to Google, to the Google page. And then it goes on to both. We have our agents set up that it goes to ours unless they have their own business page, because obviously you need a business page in order to, to post there. So if an agent is just starting to have their own Google My Business page as have their own, can they take old reviews and throw them through now, or are those now like gone, only new ones?
No, you can, because remember when you set up Google Real Satisfied, especially when you set it up to like Facebook, it'll post it as an image. Then all she has to do is right click and save that image and upload it into Google Photos.
Okay.
Now the other way, at least the picture will be there, and Google, that Google reads the content of that picture. It'll read that data. Now that's one way to do it, and the other way to do it is for her to says, "Hey, go back out and ask them for a review," but then now they're actually typing up the review and she would have to reply back to the review. But the pictures from past Google reviews, absolutely add them all into your Google listing. Upload them as pictures.
Okay, wonderful. Right. Perfect.
Yes. Do we have any other questions? So one thing I want to share real quick, for those of you that actually would like to, let me share. Okay, you guys still see my screen?
Yep.
Special training next week. So what I'm doing is I have a gentleman named Justin. Him and I have been working for years. He started a company called Merchant out of Los Angeles, California. So he's real local to me. And he started up small, and his business deals with Google. So him and his team have come out with an AI called Paige, and Paige will actually automate managing your Google listing. Amazing. So what we're going to do, he's coming on the same time next week. I am going to have him do an intro on Paige, because Julie, you can sign up for Paige for $99 a month. It'll automate everything on your Google listing. You're like, oh my God, sign me up now. Your agents can do the same thing. And I was talking to Greg how sometimes agents get so busy that this little piece of the puzzle most agents are like, it's $100. I said, but you'll spend 1,000 for Zillow leads and get one and be happy, but you won't spend 100 to get Google leads that could probably quadruple because you're already on Google.
So basically, Bob, that would, sorry to interrupt. If we linked it, everything that goes, let's say, from our Facebook page or whatever, will automatically feed.
No, I don't know exactly how it works. That's why I'm having him
Oh, okay. Well, stay
do
tuned for next.
a complete training on Paige for those of individuals that says, hey, I need to have more presence on Google. I don't have the time to manage my Google listing, but if there's an option that I could potentially generate quite a few leads, because I had one of my agents update his Google profile. And the first year he did it, he actually got 4 bona fide leads are all panned out from Google because he optimized it. He did exactly what I told him to do, and he managed it and asked for reviews, replied back, and he said, dude, this is free. And all I had to do is take 10, 15 minutes a week just to make sure, update this, update that, add a picture to do that. And so this automated software is actually even takes your listing to another level to help you rank higher in Google Pack. So stay tuned next week. I'll put out something on the Facebook group. And with the invite, it's going to be the same Zoom ID and the same password next week. So hopefully everybody enjoys. If there is no more questions, I am going to be signing out. Are we all good, Mitz?
I think we're good. No other questions. I'll ask you offline.
Okay. You guys have an amazing week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bob.